Good morning. This is Introduction to Algebra, and I'd like for you to go ahead and turn in your book to lesson 107 again. We're going to do a little review. Yesterday, I was really rushed at the end of the video, and I wanted to go over a couple of these shapes with you to make sure that you're understanding it. First, on this shape in number 10 in your book, it says, what is the volume of this shape that's in cubic centimeters? It's a right solid, whose base is shown on the left, or it's on my board, and whose height is 3 meters. The dimensions are in centimeters, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find the volume, okay? What is volume? Volume is total area times height. Now, if you look at this shape, we don't have any handy-dandy little way of knowing the area of this shape. So, in this case, we're going to think back to what we did way back at the beginning of the school year when I taught you to take a shape and break it in two and add them together to find the total area. Then I said, oh, wait a minute, here it's got a missing part. Find the whole area and then subtract out the area of the missing. And that's what we're going to do in today's. We're going to find the area of the whole thing, the whole shape, if it was a nice rectangle. Then we're going to subtract out the area of our semicircle, and then we're going to subtract out the section of this missing triangle. Once we subtract those two things out, we did this yesterday, once we subtract those two out, we'll know what our total area is, and then we can multiply it by the height. Let's work through this. For our total area, if I brought this out like this, I don't know if you can see that very well, I would add that triangle, and if I went across there and I filled in that semicircle, what shape would I have? Well, I'd have a rectangle, wouldn't I? So we know in order to find the total area, it's going to be length times width. Then we're going to subtract the area of our semicircle, okay? Let's go back here for just a minute. Let's go ahead and continue there. Okay, if we're gonna say that we're gonna subtract the area of our semicircle. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to say pi times what? Times the diameter, and we're going to, the radius, and we're going to square it divided by 2. Now we have this triangle. It's right here. Well, how do you find the area of a triangle? It is base times height divided by 2. Then we're going to multiply by our height. Now that we have our formula, let me go over it again. It's really important you understand how we're doing this because you're going to have one of these on your test coming up. Okay? You're going to take the whole area of the entire shape. That's this total area. What would the shape be? It'd be a rectangle. I would find the area by saying length times width. Then I'm going to take out the two, we'll call them the 2 bites. Have you ever seen a cookie and somebody took a bite out of it and there's a little mouth print there? How much did they eat? Well, you'd have to find the area. The area of this little bite print or this semicircle is pi times radius squared divided by 2. Then we have the triangle. Take the triangle out. That's base times height divided by 2. Once we solve this, we multiply by the height to find our answer. Now let's fill this in, okay? What is the length and the width of the entire rectangle? Well, if I went from side to side, okay? Because this is drawn in, I don't want to use that. I want to use the top where it's all there for me. I have 2, plus I have a radius of 1, and the radius of 1 giving me 4, and this line makes 4. So I have a width there of 8, okay? Plus, this side is 6. So I have 8 times 6. Now, let's look at the pi times radius squared. Well, we know pi is 3.14. And the radius of the semicircle is 1. We're going to divide that by 2. Then we have our triangle. We have to find our base and our height of the triangle. Remember, the entire line was 8. We said 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 4, giving us 8. Okay, so if the top of this is 8 and the bottom of this is 8, how big is my triangle? Well, 8 minus the 6 makes this a 2. So the base of my triangle is 2. What about the height? Well, the entire side is 6, and I know this much of it is 2, so what's left? 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay, we're going to divide that by 2. Then it says we're going to multiply the height. Look at your book. It says that the height of this is 3 meters, but where everything else is in centimeters. I need to convert that 3 meters to centimeters. How many centimeters are in 1 meter? 100. So how many centimeters are in 3 meters? 300. So we're going to multiply this by 300. Now, we're simply going to work through our problem. The volume equals, well, 8 times 6 is 48. Now we're going to subtract. 3.14 times 1 is 3.14. Then we're going to say what? We're going to divide it by 2. It might have been a little easier to do this another way. It might have been a little easier, but that's okay. We're going to say 3.14 divided by 2. Then over here we have 2 times 4 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay? And we still have our 300. So now we're going to get a little more detailed in this. We're going to say we have to divide this out. Okay, so we're going to say 48 minus, well, 2 goes into 3 one time with 1 left over. 2 goes into 11 5 times with 1 left over, and that gives us a 7 minus a 4 and times 300. So now we have 48. I'm gonna write over here so everybody can see it. I'm gonna put 48 minus 1.57. Okay, when I subtract that out, I have to borrow. So I have 3, 9 minus 5 is 4, 7 minus 1 is 6. So I have 46.43, but I still need to subtract the 4. So let's subtract the 4, and we're going to get 42.43. Okay, so now our volume is 42.43 square centimeters times 300 centimeters. Okay, I don't know if you can see that all the way at the bottom, but we have 42.43 square centimeters, tongue-tied, times the 300. And our final answer is going to be 12,729 cubic centimeters. Now, I want us to go ahead and look at this same figure, but I want us to find the lateral surface area. The word lateral, okay, means up and down. Okay, if I say put these numbers in a lateral line, I want you to put them up and down. Okay, so in order to find the lateral or the up and down surface area, what I have to do is find the perimeter of the shape, then multiply it times the height. So in order to find lateral surface area, again, all you're going to do is say, what is the perimeter times the height? Well, the perimeter is simply the addition of all the sides, right? Now, this is going to be a little weird because all of our sides aren't nice, neat, solid numbers, okay? But let's do what we can. Let's say 6 plus 2 is 8. We're going to skip the semicircle for a minute. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Okay? So everybody see what Mrs. Turner did? I added the 6, the 2, the 4, and the 12. Now, I don't want to forget this, so let's go back and do it. Okay? So I need to find the perimeter of my arc. How am I going to do that? It's going to be pi. Okay? So we're going to put our pi in there because I don't want to forget it. Okay? Then we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going around. And we've got 4. We got a 2 here. We have a 4.5 and a 6. Okay? So let's add those in. Okay, so we have 6 plus 4.5. Now, Once I add all of that, I'm going to multiply it again by my height, which is 300 centimeters. So let's solve this. If we can, we're going to say our lateral surface area equals, we're going to add 14 plus 6 gives me 20, plus 4.5 gives me 24.5 plus the pi times 300 centimeters. That's for our lateral surface area, okay? Now, once we do this, we're gonna add 3.14 multiplied by 300 in your lateral surface area, okay? The lateral surface area for that shape on this side of the board is going to be 8,292. It's lateral surface area. So what's my label? It should be square centimeters. Square centimeters. Okay, I know that we haven't gotten through all of them, but I want to take a break right here. I hope these two make perfect sense to you. If not, re-watch this video and make sure that they do. Today, make sure that you get involved in the gift card giveaway by dropping a comment in the algebra, the introduction to algebra comment section below our video. That's the only way to be entered.